The retail landscape. It's important as a marketing student to understand the new retail landscape. It's represented here within a pyramid, showing value retailers, factory outlets and markets at the bottom of the triangle, widest part of the triangle representing accessibility. We then move into the high street fashion, starting off quite wide at the bottom and moving more into the narrow to the higher end of the high street, to ready-to-wear designers and haute couture. It's important to understand the different channels and options a consumer has within the retail landscape. So let's start with haute couture. The term haute couture is protected by law and is governed by a very strict rule set by the Chambre syndicale de la haute couture in Paris. Haute couture is literally defined as high sewing or fine sewing and is fashion at its highest level. Here's just a few examples of some of the really traditional haute couture fashion houses. Ready-to-wear designers are designers that produce collections twice a year to show at Fashion Week, either in London, Paris, New York or Milan. Their autumn-winter collections are shown in February Fashion Week, and the spring-summer collections are shown in September. Some ready-to-wear houses offer exclusivity by producing a limited number of their garments, whereas others mass-produce their products. Here I've just chosen a couple of examples of ready-to-wear designers. We then move into the high street section, the main section of the pyramid. High street fashion is situated on the main street of a town, usually where the principal shops are located. The majority of high street shops are trend-led. These trends have trickled down from the top of the pyramid from haute couture and ready-to-wear designers at Fashion Week. Within the high street fashion sector of the pyramid, there are multiple options available to the consumer, which we'll go through. Department stores offer a variety of services and merchandise satisfying a very wide range of customer needs, from cosmetics to jewellery through to clothing and furniture. Each department store often houses very many different fashion concessions as well as their own brand. Here's just a few of your classic UK department stores. We then move into multiple stores and boutique chains. A multiple store is one of a series of retail stores owned under the same management or company, for example here Next, and a boutique chains are normally small shops specialising in fashion items. Here I've represented that as Urban Outfitters. Variety stores sell inexpensive items from cleaning products to small office supplies to home decor to kitchen supplies, and usually there is a single price point for all the items in the store. Independent and specialist retailers. Specialist retailers focus on one specific retail market, for example pharmacies, bookstores or dance stores. Specialist stores are normally part of a retail chain. Independent retailers usually only have a couple of stores managed by either a sole trader or a family firm. Here I've just shown a couple of examples of independent retailers. Independent retailers do not usually compete on price basis, but usually on a value one. Independent stores often build up loyal customers due to the unique individual service they receive from the independent stores compared to that of a chain. That's their USP. Mail order. Mail order usually place orders through a telephone call, a website or a mail order catalogue. The products are often delivered directly to the customer's home, but can sometimes be picked up in a store as well. Here's just a few classic examples of mail order companies. Supermarket retailers. Supermarkets have expanded into the fashion sector, adding to their portfolio so people can buy their food, household goods and pick up a dress along the way. The main key players within the UK are Georgia Asda, F&F for Tesco's and Sainsbury's has TU clothing. Then we move into e-commerce, probably the biggest growing market in the last 10 years. Electronic commerce is the buying or selling of goods over the internet. The majority of high street stores now have their own websites which consumers can also purchase their goods from. But here I've just chosen to represent a few just online companies such as ASOS, probably the biggest known one, which vary from value right up to designer. We then have the TV shopping. Home shopping refers to the buying of products from home shopping channels Many customers do prefer to buy within the comfort of their own home, and is still a growing market. We then move on to the final piece of the pyramid: value retailers, factory outlets and markets. Value retailers offer products such as clothing and toys on the budget end of the market. Usually value retailers source cheap supplies and make products with simple materials and designs, which is how they can keep their costs down. Value retailers buy their stock in bulk. A factory outlet is products directly from the manufacturers, usually out of season, garments are left over or past samples, and then markets or on the street. They can be fruit and veg through to the clothing markets that we see in some towns. So with all this in mind, your task is to prepare your own new retail landscape pyramid for your chosen niche market. You are required to fill in a name of the retailer for each category.